Today, I want to talk about something that in our noisy, chaotic world is incredibly important, but often overlooked: focusing on yourself and staying silent. These might sound like simple concepts, but in practice, they can change the way you approach life, work, and your own mental well-being. Let's start with focus. Focus isn't just about what we choose to pay attention to, it's about where we direct our energy, and more importantly, how we train our minds to sustain attention over time. In today's age of constant distractions, social media notifications, the pressure of emails, the rush of daily tasks, we've forgotten what it means to truly be in the moment with our thoughts and actions. When you focus on yourself, it's not a selfish act, it's a conscious decision to prioritize your internal landscape. This means giving yourself space to grow, to reflect, and to understand what drives you. When you focus on yourself, you stop allowing external noise to dictate your emotional state. Your emotions become less reactive, and your mental clarity becomes stronger. This is where real growth happens, when you stop trying to solve everything around you and instead turn inward. In today's fast-paced world, it is increasingly difficult to prioritize our internal landscape amidst the constant barrage of external distractions. We live in an age where technology, social media, and the pressure to stay connected make it hard to focus on ourselves. Notifications from our phones, emails, and the overwhelming presence of others' opinions pull us in every direction, leaving little room for deep self-reflection or clarity. In these moments, we lose sight of our inner needs and desires, often letting external factors dictate our thoughts, emotions, and actions. However, learning to prioritize your internal landscape is the foundation for achieving mental well-being, personal growth, and clarity in decision-making. The internal landscape refers to the mental space where our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs reside. It's the environment where we form our identity, evaluate our values, and process our experiences. If we don't make time to nurture and understand this inner world, we are often at the mercy of the external world's demands, becoming reactive instead of proactive in how we engage with life. External distractions can take the form of others' expectations, societal pressures, or even the overwhelming amount of content we consume daily. These distractions often distort our sense of self, leaving us feeling disconnected or uncertain about our true desires. To truly prioritize your internal landscape, you must learn to filter out the noise and focus on the voice inside you that is often drowned out. This means setting boundaries around what you allow to enter your mind and energy. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of external distractions, but when you take the time to reflect inwardly, you start to better understand who you are and what truly matters to you. This understanding is not just about your ambitions or career goals, but also about your values, emotions, and well-being. When you connect with your internal world, you become more grounded and better equipped to handle external pressures with a sense of clarity and control. Prioritizing your internal landscape also involves creating space for quiet reflection. This is where silence becomes an important tool. In the silence, you can confront your thoughts, examine your emotions, and connect with your deeper sense of purpose. Without this time for stillness, we often find ourselves running on autopilot, reacting to circumstances instead of responding intentionally. The constant influx of external input can prevent us from recognizing our true feelings and desires. In these moments of internal focus, we become more attuned to our needs, goals, and emotional states, which allows us to make more conscious choices rather than being swayed by outside influences. In addition, focusing on your internal landscape can help you identify areas in your life that need attention or adjustment. Often, we become so consumed with meeting external expectations that we neglect our own personal growth. Taking the time to prioritize your internal world allows you to uncover patterns in your behavior, beliefs, and thought processes that might be holding you back. It offers a chance for self-improvement, helping you identify what's serving you and what's not. This self-awareness enables you to make more informed choices about how you engage with the world, and in turn, how you manage your relationships, your career, and your well-being. Ultimately, by prioritizing your internal landscape, you begin to understand that true growth comes from within. When you are attuned to your inner world, external circumstances no longer have the power to dictate your emotional responses or decisions. Instead, you operate from a place of clarity, authenticity, and purpose. Focus is often described as the ability to concentrate on a task or goal, but its true power goes far beyond just attention. It is the cornerstone of mental clarity and personal growth. In a world where distractions are abundant and our attention is constantly divided, the ability to focus deeply and consistently becomes not only a valuable skill, but a necessary one. Focus isn't just about fixing your attention on something, it's about the capacity to direct your mental energy and sustain it over time. This concentrated effort allows you to filter out the noise and distractions that often cloud your judgment, enabling you to make decisions that are more aligned with your deeper goals. In the modern world, we are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, notifications from smartphones, the allure of social media, the demands of work, and the pressure of relationships. These are all sources of distraction that make it challenging to stay focused. When your attention is scattered, your mind becomes cluttered, and the ability to think clearly and make intentional decisions becomes significantly diminished. The mental bandwidth required to keep up with multiple inputs at once leaves little space for deep thinking, problem solving, or reflection. As a result, many people end up reacting to life's challenges rather than responding thoughtfully and purposefully. The power of focus lies in its ability to create mental clarity. When you focus, you essentially clear your mental workspace, allowing for deeper thought and greater insight. The clearer your mind, the easier it is to prioritize what truly matters to you, make informed decisions, and avoid being overwhelmed by the noise. Mental clarity is the direct result of sustained focus. When you hone this ability, your thoughts become sharper, your actions more deliberate, and your emotional responses more controlled. Instead of getting swept away by the emotions of the moment or the urgency of the situation, you approach challenges with a calm, focused mind that allows you to see things more clearly. Focus also plays a vital role in personal growth. When you are able to direct your attention consistently toward a specific goal or task, you make progress in ways that scattered attention cannot facilitate. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving a relationship, or advancing in your career, focus is what allows you to take incremental steps toward achievement. Without focus, progress is slow and often disjointed. But when you invest your energy in a sustained, deliberate way, you build momentum and move closer to your objectives, often in ways that would seem impossible with divided attention. Another crucial aspect of focus is its connection to emotional resilience. In a world full of distractions and competing demands, it's easy to become emotionally reactive. When we aren't focused, we are more likely to let outside circumstances dictate how we feel. Focus provides the mental discipline to stay grounded and centered, regardless of external events. This resilience comes from the ability to control where your attention lies. When your focus is on your goals, your values, and your personal growth, the external challenges lose their power over you. Rather than being dragged into reactive emotional states, you are able to maintain a steady course toward what is important to you. In addition, when you focus on a task, goal, or process, it's not just about the immediate outcome, but also about the journey of becoming better. This process requires a deep level of engagement that fosters continuous improvement. Focus allows you to break down complex problems, find patterns, and discover solutions that you might miss if your attention is fractured. It's through this concentrated effort that you build expertise and develop the skills necessary to thrive. Focus is the key to unlocking potential that might otherwise remain dormant in the noise of a distracted life. Silence is often misunderstood as mere quietness, the absence of sound, or a passive state. But in reality, silence is a powerful tool for mental clarity, self-reflection, and personal insight. In a world dominated by noise, both external and internal, silence provides the necessary space to reconnect with ourselves and gain deeper understanding. It is in the moments of silence that our minds are able to process, analyze, and synthesize the information we have absorbed throughout the day. These moments allow us to quiet the chatter that fills our minds and offers the opportunity for profound self-awareness and growth. The external noise of modern life is unavoidable, from the constant hum of technology to the never-ending flow of information through social media, television, and conversations. We are constantly surrounded by stimuli that demand our attention. While some of this external noise can be stimulating and helpful, much of it is simply overwhelming, leading to mental fatigue and a diminished capacity for focused thought. We often become so used to this constant influx of noise that we fail to realize how much it impacts our mental state. In the absence of silence, our minds become cluttered, and clarity of thought is harder to attain. Silence offers a reprieve from this relentless bombardment. It creates the mental space needed for self-reflection, allowing us to process our thoughts and emotions without the interference of outside voices or distractions. When we allow ourselves to be still and silent, we can gain clarity on our goals, our values, and our current path in life. This self-reflection provides a powerful opportunity to reevaluate where we stand and what we want to achieve. It gives us the time to ask ourselves the tough questions about our priorities, motivations, and action. Without silence, it's easy to become caught up in the flow of life, reacting to circumstances rather than taking intentional action aligned with our true desires. Beyond self-reflection, silence also plays a critical role in helping us better understand the world around us. In the silence, we are able to listen more attentively to others, to be present in our interactions without the urge to respond immediately or fill the space with words. It fosters deeper communication, not just through speech, but through listening. In conversations, silence allows us to truly hear what the other person is saying, rather than merely preparing our next response. This deeper listening builds stronger relationships and helps us connect with others on a more meaningful level. Silence also plays a crucial role in regulating our emotional responses. In moments of stress, anxiety, or overwhelm, it is easy to react impulsively, yet silence gives us the ability to pause, to create a space between stimulus and reaction. This pause allows us to regain control over our emotions, preventing us from acting out of frustration, anger, or fear. By choosing to remain silent, we create the mental space needed to process our emotions and decide on a response that is measured and thoughtful. This emotional regulation is a critical component of personal growth, as it allows us to navigate difficult situations with calmness and clarity. Furthermore, silence can be a form of strength and resilience. In many situations, choosing silence over unnecessary commentary or action demonstrates self-control and confidence. It allows us to hold our ground without feeling the need to constantly explain ourselves, defend our positions, or seek validation. Silence in these contexts becomes a statement in itself, one that speaks volumes without uttering a word. It is a powerful reminder that we do not always need to fill the air with noise to assert ourselves or make our presence known. Sometimes, simply being still and silent is the most impactful choice we can make. In today's hyper-connected world, we are constantly encouraged to voice our opinions, share our thoughts, and make our voices heard. The pressure to speak out can sometimes feel overwhelming, as if every thought, feeling, and belief must be expressed immediately. Yet not every thought or opinion needs to be voiced. In fact, the practice of withholding some thoughts, choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, is a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discipline. By understanding when to hold back, we cultivate discernment, emotional control, and a greater sense of clarity in our interactions with the world. We live in a society that often equates speaking up with confidence and authority. This can create the illusion that if we are not constantly sharing our thoughts, we are not contributing meaningfully. However, the act of speaking without purpose or consideration can lead to confusion, conflict, and unnecessary drama. Not every opinion needs to be aired, and sometimes silence can be more powerful than words. There are moments when saying less allows space for others to speak, for thoughts to be considered more deeply, and for more meaningful conversations to take place. The decision to remain silent can be especially important in situations of conflict or heightened emotion. In moments of stress, frustration, or anger, it's easy to blurt out the first thing that comes to mind, often without thinking of the consequences. These reactive responses can damage relationships, lead to regrettable words and create unnecessary tension. Choosing silence in these moments allows us to pause and reflect, to give ourselves the space to calm down and regain control over our emotion. It provides an opportunity to consider the impact of our words before we speak, ensuring that we communicate thoughtfully and with purpose. Silence in this sense is a form of self-restraint and emotional maturity. Moreover, not every thought needs to be shared because not all thoughts are meant for public consumption. Our internal world is rich and complex, and some of our most profound insights are personal. There is wisdom in recognizing that not everything we think needs to be vocalized. This doesn't mean we are suppressing ourselves, but rather choosing to honor our thoughts in a way that preserves their integrity. When we constantly share every opinion, we may dilute the depth and significance of our insights. By holding some thoughts back, we allow them to mature, deepen, and develop in a more meaningful way. This selective expression is a powerful act of self-respect and discernment. In social settings, withholding certain opinions can also foster better relationships. Sometimes we may feel tempted to share our thoughts simply to be heard, but doing so in a way that does not respect others' perspectives can lead to misunderstandings and disconnection. By being more mindful of when and how we speak, we create space for others to express their thoughts and feelings. This leads to more balanced, open, and respectful conversations, where each person feels heard and valued. In many cases, choosing not to speak can be an act of empathy, allowing others the opportunity to share without interruption or judgment. Furthermore, not voicing every thought can also help protect our mental and emotional well-being. There are times when our thoughts are simply not aligned with the situation or are not helpful in the moment. In these instances, keeping certain opinions to ourselves prevents unnecessary mental clutter and emotional strain. It frees us from the need to constantly defend our beliefs or get entangled in debates that serve no real purpose. This practice of restraint allows us to conserve our energy for more meaningful pursuits and interactions, ultimately leading to a more peaceful and intentional life. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a dynamic space that allows us to engage with life in a more thoughtful, intentional way. In moments of silence, we are not withdrawing or retreating from the world. Rather, we are choosing to participate in it from a place of greater awareness and clarity. In our fast-paced, noise-filled world, silence becomes a powerful tool for navigating the complexity of life. It creates the mental space needed to evaluate situations, respond more thoughtfully, and maintain control over our emotions and actions. When we choose silence, we are actively creating the opportunity for deeper engagement. In the absence of constant external noise and distractions, we become more present to the world around us. We are able to listen more attentively to others, observe more keenly, and connect with what is truly important. Silence sharpens our senses and increases our awareness, allowing us to perceive the subtleties of life that often go unnoticed in the rush of everyday existence. It is in these moments of stillness that we become more attuned to our environment and the people in it, enhancing our ability to make thoughtful decisions. Moreover, silence provides us with the space to reflect on our own experiences, actions, and emotions. In a world where we are constantly reacting to external stimuli, taking the time to pause and reflect allows us to respond with intention rather than impulse. It is in silence that we can assess our internal state, understand the emotions we are feeling, and gain insight into our own behavior. This introspective process helps us clarify our thoughts and align our actions with our deeper values and goals. It also offers the opportunity to evaluate our relationships, our work, and our personal growth, allowing us to make adjustments as needed and approach life with a greater sense of purpose. Choosing silence in moments of stress or conflict can also be a powerful way to maintain emotional control. In heated situations, it is easy to react impulsively, often leading to words or actions we later regret. Silence acts as a pause button, giving us the space to step back, collect our thoughts, and regain composure. By holding back from speaking or acting in the heat of the moment, we are able to respond in a more measured, thoughtful manner. This emotional regulation is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and avoiding unnecessary conflict. Instead of contributing to the noise of the moment, we can choose to remain calm, observe, and respond in a way that reflects our values and intentions. Furthermore, silence allows us to cultivate resilience. In many situations, situations, especially those involving external pressure or criticism, we may feel the urge to speak out or defend ourselves. However, silence in these instances can be a sign of strength and self-confidence. By choosing not to engage in every battle, we demonstrate emotional maturity and the ability to control our responses. Silence can be a shield that protects our energy and mental well-being, allowing us to conserve our resources for situations that truly matter. It also gives us the freedom to let go of the need for validation or approval, enabling us to remain true to ourselves without seeking constant reassurance from others. In addition, silence creates space for growth and creativity. Without the constant barrage of noise and distractions, our minds are free to explore new ideas, make connections, and develop innovative solutions to problems. Silence allows for deep thinking, problem solving, and creative expression that would not be possible if we were constantly surrounded by noise. It fosters an environment where new insights can emerge and where we can approach challenges with a fresh perspective. By embracing silence, we invite the opportunity for new ideas and perspectives to emerge, which can lead to personal and professional growth. When we prioritize both focus and silence in our lives, we find ourselves more aligned with our true purpose. The combination of these two elements allows us to operate from a place of clarity and intention, rather than being swept along by the external forces that often shape our thoughts and actions. In the absence of distractions and constant mental chatter, we become more attuned to our deeper needs and desires. By cultivating focus, we channel our energy toward what truly matters, and by embracing silence, we create the mental space needed to reflect, evaluate, and recalibrate our path. This alignment enables us to make decisions that are in harmony with our core values and goals. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, it is easy to become overwhelmed and disoriented. We may find ourselves chasing external validation, attempting to meet the expectations of others, or getting lost in the noise of social media and public opinion. The pressure to stay connected and be constantly available can create a sense of disconnection from our own inner world. However, by choosing to focus on ourselves and remain silent when needed, we can counterbalance these external influences. This conscious decision to turn inward gives us the freedom to evaluate our lives from a place of greater clarity, allowing us to identify what is truly important and meaningful to us. Focusing on yourself means making time to reflect on your goals, desires, and values, without the constant interruptions of external distractions. When we are constantly reacting to the demands of the world around us, we lose sight of our own priorities. Silence in this context serves as a tool for cutting through the noise and providing the mental space to refocus. In the stillness, we can hear our own thoughts more clearly, evaluate our emotions without judgment, and gain insights into our behavior and motivation. This process of self-awareness is essential for personal growth, as it allows us to make intentional choices based on what truly resonates with us, rather than being influenced by external forces. This alignment also strengthens our decision-making ability. When we are focused and silent, we are more able to make choices that reflect our deepest values and long-term objectives, rather than acting impulsively or reacting out of fear or insecurity. We approach challenges and opportunities with a sense of purpose and intentionality. This clarity helps us navigate difficult situations with confidence, as we trust that our decisions are aligned with our authentic selves. By maintaining focus and embracing silence, we reduce the noise of uncertainty and self-doubt, allowing us to move forward with greater ease and conviction. Additionally, aligning our lives through focus and silence brings a sense of peace and inner calm. The busyness of daily life can often create a sense of inner turmoil as we juggle multiple responsibilities, expectations, and demands. By choosing to focus on what truly matters and creating space for silence, we create an environment in which we can relax, recharge, and reconnect with ourselves. This peace extends beyond moments of silence, as it becomes a state of being that influences every aspect of our life. We become more centered, more grounded, and less affected by the external pressures that once caused stress and anxiety. Ultimately, the practice of focusing on ourselves and embracing silence creates a life that is more intentional, more meaningful, and more aligned with our true purpose. By directing our attention toward what matters most and allowing ourselves the space to reflect and process, we can navigate the complexities of life with greater clarity, peace, and resilience. This alignment is not something that happens overnight. It is a continuous process of honing our ability to focus, cultivating moments of silence, and allowing ourselves the freedom to live in harmony with our inner self.